This is Audible.
Audible Studios presents 9 Dolls. Written by Rupa Mahadevan. Performed by Safia Ingar, Avita J, Paula Masterton, and Krupa Patani.
Prologue. The knife plunges into her in a single smooth motion, and her insides part obediently. It's cold, oh so cold, she thinks rather bizarrely, her mouth forming a misshapen O. Her blood rushes to her hands, warming them for a moment, only to dissolve into the chill damp of the storm. No, this is all wrong. This isn't how it's supposed to be. It should be the other way around. The knife should be in her hands. The shock of the cold blade brings some sense to her addled brain. She tries to take stock. Here she is, hair pinned under the rock, hands tied in front, legs of jelly and heart fatally pierced. There's no hope. The slanting rain whips at her face while her guts spill their precious cargo. And she can't help but marvel at the irony of it all. Dying here, of all places, on the tomb of Vari, the maiden wronged all those centuries ago. With her last breath, she lifts her head to stare into the eyes of the one who, with a shaking hand, drove the knife into her. Something's not right. There's no rage in those eyes, no jealousy, no hatred, nothing that screams good riddance. Instead, there's pain. Deep, agonizing pain that turns the whites of those eyes a bruised purple. A single tear falls, a fat droplet, not for themselves, but for the victim, for her wasted life, for what could have been. Then she collapses, her forehead touching, barely registering the knife handle beneath it. The cold spreads from the blade to the rest of her body until it is as icy as the air. She no longer breathes. Chapter 1. Day 9. Leela. The seconds ticked by while the fly's buzz intensified until it was a steady drone that echoed in my ears, rising above the raging storm outside. I turned my head, but the movement only made them angrier, the buzz louder. Whir, buzz, and repeat. I told myself it must be the fruits. I could smell their earthy tang of rot and rust. It had to be the fruits. The alternative was too scary to contemplate. The lights flickered twice and then died, and the night's blackness intensified. I didn't even hear the low hum of the generator. It must have been drowned out by the howling of the wind. In the 2 months and 3 days since I'd left the golden warmth of India for grey, wet England, one thing I hadn't missed was the power cuts. Today, I realized how much I'd taken for granted. I was engulfed in darkness, squinting into the blackness. I was willing myself to see beyond the veil, to make out the shapes of the woods and the shed with the generator that I knew were right there. As I stared, 2 tiny glowing eyes appeared, spitting light as a warning of an unknown creature lurking behind them. Transfixed, I could not tear my eyes away. Slowly, the eyes grew until they were 2 fiery orbs, their light rippling outward in bands, expanding into concentric circles that stretched wider and wider like the ripples in a pool, until they dissolved into the night. The 2 points of light gave way to a stream of kaleidoscopic images, snapshots of the past 9 days. Of the people I'd believed were my friends. The secrets they kept, the vengeance they'd nurtured secretly, their intentions for me and my dolls, all converging like ants swarming to a nest, leading to one terrible ending. Tonight, and the terrible, terrible opportunity it presented. It was clear now, the evil, pure and unmistakable. It palpitated through the dark, echoing in the screaming winds. The points of light swam. The creature, whatever it was,